Hello, my guys, gals, my non-binary pals. Today is another full moon with Nomad. It is currently June 3rd, 2026, so it's not actually a full moon. The full moon was on the 31st of May. I unfortunately am a few days late because I've been quite busy, for better or for worse, depending on who you ask. Um, I've also been on hiatus. If well, for those of you that haven't noticed, I have been away, haven't posted, haven't done anything. Well, I've been doing stuff, but just not in front of you all. Um, this full moon was huge for me, for some people around me as well. I guess I'll start with that. This full moon, I invited two friends to join me for my full moon ritual, and it was good. I would say it was good. Tears were shed, guidance was given, um, love was felt. I think that's very important and very powerful. Excuse me for a second here. My lips are a little chapped. Sorry about that. So, that was really, really good. I loved everything about that. It meant a lot to me to be able to share this side of me and everything like that, share my beliefs and help ring in a new lunar year with them. This was their first time doing something like this, and they seem to get a lot out of it. So I'm very glad. I'm very grateful. This full moon cycle or last full moon cycle had been tough. One of the things I wanted to talk about, or that I did talk about in the last video, was perspectives. You know, um, and how like I wanted to get better at letting things go, letting people go, more specifically. This cycle, or towards the end of that cycle, I I learned something very important for myself, and I think for you all as well. Um, I learned that the healer is the one with the bloodiest hands. That's what I learned. I learned that the healer is the one with the bloodiest hands, and I realized about myself a number of things. So I went on this hiatus. For me, that means that I'm taking time for myself, just me and God, you know. Um, and it was very much so needed. I was on a ledge, and it was not looking good. While I was on hiatus, I felt like I was burning. Like I was on fire. I'm just consumed and engulfed by these flames. I'm burning here. Like I'm not gonna last very long at this rate. You see what I'm saying? I'm burning. And a number of people in my life had essentially came to me while I'm on hiatus. They came to me in droves and were like, what the fuck smells like ash? It's annoying. Like, it's infuriating to my nostrils. Like, someone light an incense, light a candle, do something. Because the smell of ash is, it's terrible. And I can't stand to be around it. But I'm the one on fire. I'm the one burning. You're smelling me. And this time of need that I have, you're complaining to me that I can't be what you need me to be. And speaking of bloody hands, of the healer's bloody hands, I still took that and thought that I was the problem. that my taking time for myself was selfish, that my taking time for myself was pagan and has nothing to do with God at all, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, so I had to sit with myself for a bit and be like, why do I feel that way? Why do I think so little of myself? Where did my self-respect go? When did I start allowing myself to be manipulated by people again? When that was a promise that I made to myself months ago, a few years ago. Actually, I told myself I would never be manipulated again. It's never going to happen again. And yet, here I was. And I know that no one's doing it intentionally. I know that no one's intentionally going out of their way to say, oh, I'm going to say this and it's going to be to manipulate. No, they're doing their best to communicate how they are feeling, which is all I've ever asked of them. They're doing exactly what I asked. How I receive it is a different story. But again, I'm on fire and you're complaining about the smell of ash. Like, these two things don't equate. Like, it's not that I didn't say nothing. Like, I said something. I was like, hey, I'm on hiatus. Sorry, I'm also like clocked into work, so forgive me for like little intrusions like that. I'm gonna make this quick. So, where was I? It probably wasn't important. But that was a really difficult thing for me. And then I had a friend when I got off of hiatus and they were on the ledge. And I thought that was going to be it. You know? I talked them down off the ledge, as one does when they care, but at the same time, and maybe this is just a me thing, but with my spiritual beliefs and stuff, I do believe that angels have a right to choose when they go back home. You know? As tragic as that sounds, I know how that sounds to some people. I'm not advocating for, whatever. It's just like, I think prolonged suffering is worse. You know what I mean? And so, they came to me and I sat with them. Sometimes that's all people need, I think. They just need someone to sit with them. Someone that's willing to sit in the mess, to sit in the mud. I've been a healer with bloody hands my entire life. They'll never fully wash out. There's regrets that I have. There's things I wish were different. Things I wish I handled better. But my hands will forever be bloody. But I think at some point, I need to learn to stop carrying the weight that comes with that. Not saying don't be a healer. Don't look out for people. Don't do this, don't do that. Like, these noble things. I'm not going to stop doing what I feel like is right in my heart, right? But I think I have every right to be more selective of who I let into that heart. My heart is huge, but it's got battle scars. It's got war stories. I think I have to learn to protect myself in all this as well. Or else I'll get lost in the bodies and the corpses and all of the violence. I'll get lost in the blood. But that's just what I think. So last cycle I even tried to let go of some things, and they've fought back, and it was pretty manipulative how they did it. But at the end of the day, I made my bed with being like, okay, well, then I guess we'll try again. We'll keep it going, whatever. This relationship to each other. And I have been trying still. I'm a man of my word. I have still been trying, but it doesn't really feel like it's going back the other way, you know? And relationships are a two-way street. We might not be walking the exact same path, but at least for the time being, we're walking in the same direction. And as long as I'm walking in the same direction as you, I want to see you grow. I want to see you eat. I want to see you thrive. I want to see you love. But when it's your time to depart, it's your time to depart. And that's okay. I think oftentimes we're scared of that. I really do. So for this cycle, because I gotta make this brief, for this cycle, oh my god, wait. Something huge that I also learned during my hiatus and during this last cycle. I was having a bit of a return to self, a return to the path, to the way. Those of you that have read Miyamoto Musashi's Dakota, you know what I'm talking about, by the way. See, I did samurai training years ago, and so I started to redo that a bit into my hiatus and all that. And it was great. I didn't get to fully go in the way that I wanted to, but I started to get busy with videography and photography. I started to get busy. Not an excuse. I need to be getting back on it. But I was feeling like I had lost the way and I wasn't going to be able to recover from that. And then it was brought to my attention through God, through the words of a friendship that I'm getting very close with. Like, we're very like-minded individuals when it comes to a lot of our spiritual practices and spirituality. He had said to me, the path is wherever your feet lie. The path is wherever your feet lie. And it doesn't sound like a lot. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't sound like that's that big of a deal. It's not philosophical enough for some shit, some arbitrary thing, right? But for me, at that time, that's what I needed. So I leave y'all with this. The last full moon, or this current lunar cycle, begins with the full moon in Sagittarius. So this is an alignment period. You have a path, you have a dream, you have something that you're pushing towards. Go towards it. Gun ho, full force. Believe in yourself. Don't count your blessings, but be grateful for those blessings. You see what I'm saying? Push forward, keep moving forward, and look out for yourself. If you need a break, you need a break. Forget the noise, forget the people that might be upset, because these same people that are upset at you for taking a break to look out for yourself, they're probably not the right people. And I had to learn that too. I'm still learning that. You know, like, everyone around me knows who I am. I don't talk a whole lot. I don't have the need to text every day. I don't have the need to even talk to someone once a week. I'm just not that person. Those are not my needs. My love doesn't dissipate. I'm still going to love you. I'm still going to care about you. I'm still going to be there when you need me. I'm just not a person that has to be like this 24/7. I need time to myself. I need time to exist as me. And the closest people in my life understand that. My sister and I are like moving in together. We will go months without saying a word to each other. And then randomly out the blue, how you doing? Randomly out the blue, So my relationship's going well. Whatever. Hey, can we talk about this? Whatever. That's who I am. Not everyone fits in with that, and that's okay. You don't have to be everybody's cup of tea. Some people don't like tea. They're kind of crazy, but like some people don't like tea. I'm joking, obviously. Like you're not crazy if you don't like tea, but like I love tea. Don't light yourself on fire in order to make sure other people are warm. Prioritize yourself. Get realigned on your path, and remember that the path is wherever your feet lie. And the hardest thing, and I learned this a few years ago, but the hardest thing is when it comes to relationships, romantic or not, sometimes your fingers can fit perfectly. Perfectly. But your feet can be on different paths. And at some point, you gotta let it go. That one's still hard. Sometimes to love someone, you have to be a stranger. So this this lunar cycle for June, which is a huge month for me, well, for my family in general. For this lunar cycle, I still want to get better at letting things go. I want to have more discernment because empathy without boundaries is self-sabotage, and I recognize that. I want to stand by my self-worth. I don't want to abandon myself any longer. Not for anyone else, not for how they feel, no. I'm done abandoning myself. Because at the end of the day, it's just me alone in that room. And if I'm consumed by regret or I'm consumed by all of these negative things and thoughts, who is going to be there when I physically can't pick up the phone and ask for help? You know what I mean? Like who's going to be there? Nobody. It'll just be me and God. I need to learn how to stand in that darkness and not abandon myself. So in this lunar cycle, not only do I wish this for myself, but I wish this for all of you as well. We are going to stay on our path. We are going to chase our dreams. We will remember that the saying, the sky's the limit, is utter bullshit because there are footprints on the moon. The sky should be the lowest that you're willing to go. The absolute lowest I'm willing to go is the sky. We're going to prioritize ourselves and not view it as being selfish. It's not selfish to take care of yourself. It's not selfish to love yourself. And that's what we're going to do. Love every aspect of ourselves, physically, mentally, and spiritually. And it will take some work. But I think that's one of the most important commitments we can have, is the commitment to ourselves. To say, hey, I love you, man. I love you, girl. I love you, they, Zed, whatever. Being able to look yourself in the mirror and say that I love you. given that up once before. I'm not giving it up again. You know, before I start breaking down, which normally I would, and I have no issue breaking down in front of y'all, and all that good stuff. However, I still have work to do. I'm on the clock, literally. So, as always, nomads, I wish you peace. I wish you love. I wish you joy. I wish you blessings. I hope you take care. Safe travels throughout the wasteland. Always feel free to stop by. Come get a tale or two. We will actually be putting out short films and things of that nature. Just getting some things prepped. Got to get some things filmed and all that jazz. But they are coming. We'll be back to regularly scheduled programmings because after 2 years, the spark is back. And I'm not letting go this time. Another thing I've learned, just to end off on this, another thing I've learned is that just because someone's not in your life anymore doesn't mean they aren't still shaping it. And I think you have a right to choose which aspects of them shape your life. It could be something simple like, oh, well, I still make eggs the same way that she taught me, the same way that she liked. Or it could be remembering the feeling that you had at a very specific memory. And knowing that if you felt that way before, you can feel that way again. And then learning on top of that, that feeling isn't tied to that one person. You can be happy outside of that person. Or that thing. Or that idea. Sometimes you have to take responsibility for your own happiness. And when you have your happiness, don't apologize. People will say anything. Especially when they're not happy, people will say anything. Sometimes you just gotta look at it and be like, look, I'm happy. I don't know what to tell you. I'm happy. Probably for the first time in my life. And I'm not gonna feel bad about it. So don't feel bad about that shit. But I digress. Thank y'all for stopping by this full moon. I know it's late. I'm gonna try to get things out on the actual full moons. I actually had such a great location and idea and everything, but again, busyness kind of happened. But yeah. Hope y'all have a wonderful lunar cycle. Peace, love, light, and blessings to you and yours. Safe travels.